Hey everyone, hope you're doing well in the crypto world. So we're getting some action picking up, and we can just see it in, social media postings, in video views, in the amount of comments in our different chat rooms for these coins. So definitely seeing some activity pick up as things continue to tighten. And I was actually going to do a video later this weekend, perhaps tomorrow, with regards to the alert system, just in terms of different market cycles, because ever since I've been trading since May 2017 in this space, I've noticed at least 3 or 4 distinct different market cycles, and we have different signals that are best with our indicators for those different market cycles, and they change. And that's one of the reasons that I feel that bots have a disadvantage. Bots can work really well in a set market environment, but then the human has to go in and tweak it for the new market environment that we see. So that's something that I do believe keeps the humans one step ahead in advantage over these bots in terms of, long and drawn out. But if you're good at, recognizing the changes in market sentiment, and you can shift what the bot acts on, then that would be definitely a good skill to have. But bottom line is, we're noticing some things going on right now in the market that are different, and it's been different the past 4 days than it has been in the past couple of weeks. And using the alert system, we've got some indicators that are telling us that things are different. And we'll go into some examples here right now. Tomorrow, I'm going to do an alt video with a bunch of altcoins that people are voting on right now in the chat room. And that's going to give us more of an insight as to which names are stronger versus Bitcoin, which names are weaker. But for right now, I want to focus on just Bitcoin, Ripple, and Ethereum, and then these little details that I'm noticing in the shift. And again, it's noticing these different little details in the market that can give us some insight into what to be using, how to be adjusting our stop loss levels, and things like that. So first off, we'll run down let's go into the examples first of this bot, and then we'll go over the general analysis like we usually do. So as of right now, we're seeing some healthy 4-hour consolidation on Bitcoin. But what I want to point out is what's happened in the last 3 days is essentially, and I gave that movie analogy where, the heroes are about to get crushed by the bears, and the bull moose comes out of nowhere and saves the day. And this is the 3rd time now that we've seen this, where the bears break a key support and the bulls use that signal as a reason to begin buying. So what I interpret as happening right now, and my hypothesis of what is happening, is these bots are battling. And of course, the bots for the bulls and the bears are always battling, but things have shifted, and there's different settings right now. And whether, humans manually change those settings, I don't know. I would assume so. But we're seeing that clear bear breaks lead to strong buying at the ask with market orders from these bots. So here was the initial bear break that started this bull move. So we broke bearish, the bull showed up out of nowhere, and it's essentially going on defense, protecting your support level, even if it breaks, starting to market buy, and then seeing follow through. And it's almost like, and we had another one here, where we broke the low of consolidation, and that was the trigger for the bulls to show up. So I would imagine that who has ever programmed these bull bots are doing so to say, if this support level breaks, start market buying. And that's trapping shorts in the sense that, bears are entering their positions right as these support levels break, and just like that, they're underwater instantly. So it's keeping a bit of pressure on the new shorts that are coming out. And we just saw another one right now. It happened on a smaller time frame, but if we look at the 15-minute chart, we have a tightening range, getting real tight, a clear bear break that takes out 3 support levels on one candlestick, and then again, the bulls show up and completely turn that around. I believe it's jujitsu. Wow. Jiu-jitsu, where you take your opponent's energy and turn it on them, and that's what the bulls are doing. They're taking the bears' breaks of support and completely flipping that momentum and having the bulls show up. So what we got right before this bear break occurred was our bot radar goes off. And what our bot radar does is it recognizes systematic selling at certain intervals. So it says if there's a sell or a buy of this amount at the same interval this many times, trigger this alert. So the alert went off here. This is the 1-minute time frame. Let's actually we'll look at it here on Ethereum. So here's the 1-minute signal that went off. And here we go. So it said, this is what the alert system sends you. It says ETH/USD bot radar automated sell of 100 detected at 0.3 second intervals. That's a lot of ETH being sold. That's 300 in less than a second, and that's consistent. So you can see right when that triggers, that's when the bears show up, and that sell bot, drove the price down very quickly, and it broke support. It broke the lowest price that we had seen in the last hour and a half, almost 2 hours, and here it is. That was our support level breaking, and right when we dip below it, instant bulls buying the dip for the next 5 minutes, and it's essentially the support and the low of the last hour break, and the bull bot kicks in. So my hypothesis is that someone has programmed these bull bots to recognize a break of support and instantly start market buying when that break does occur. So looking at this sell bot back 3 weeks ago, if we get this signal, we're likely going to see the price continue to dump down and supports break, and we didn't see V-shaped recoveries. We didn't see bulls buying the dip. So that signal means something completely different 3 weeks ago in that market environment than it means in this current market environment, and that's the last 4 days when these fake outs for the bears have started to happen. So essentially, seeing a bot sell like this would be an indication not necessarily to act, but this is giving me a general sentiment on what's going on behind the scenes and what the bots are doing, and it's giving me a better, broader picture. So now I'm noticing more of these clear breaks of support. Here's Bitcoin doing it on the 1 minute time frame. Well, here's those multiple times that we saw Bitcoin do it on the longer term time frames, and here it is on the 1 minute as well. So this is when the ETH sell bot kicked in. We see Bitcoin dumping as well, and again, as soon as the support level breaks, the lowest price of consolidation that we had seen at that point, it had been support from 5 in the morning until it broke here at 2 p.m. So we're talking support for 9 hours. As soon as that 9 hour long support breaks, instant market buys, and here we are seeing a strong recovery. So what that does is it keeps the bulls alive, it keeps them holding support, and it keeps the bears on their toes now. The bears are no longer comfortable saying, oh, we broke support, let's run with it. They're saying, oh, we broke support, uh-oh, what's going on? We're instantly in the red if we entered any bearish positions at this point. So again, it's defense by the bulls, and it's coming out as soon as support levels break. So if you are a bull and you're making your support levels, or I should say you're placing your stop losses, you have to be aware that we're seeing this kind of action. And it's almost like waiting for the bulls to show up and then putting the stop loss under where the break was. Because if you're putting your stop loss in normal levels where you say, all right, if this support level breaks, I'm out, it's going to trigger you out right before the bull move starts. And again, this is just for the last 4 days, and this market little segment of 4 days is going to shift, maybe tomorrow, maybe in 2 weeks, but we're always watching for these little details to know what kind of market environment we're trading in. It was the same thing back when the market was dumping initially from the all-time highs, and we saw beautiful 4-hour oversold bounces, and our oversold climax indicator was absolute money. You could not go wrong if you bought 4-hour oversold climax alerts. And that market changed because we started seeing bear flags and we didn't see V-shaped recoveries. So if you were using the same strategy of just blindly buying the 4-hour oversold climaxes back then and you applied it to when the bear flag market cycle hit, you would be giving back a lot of profit and you would be losing a lot of money. So noticing the changes in different market environments is essential to staying one step ahead of the herd and having a clear picture of what's going on. So Bitcoin on the daily time frame is potentially a bearish reversal candlestick, and that just shows indecision after a big 3-day bull move. So whenever I see that kind of indecision candlestick, I want to zoom in and get more details. And I can see the bulls are still maintaining the 4-hour exponential supports at this point. And that shows me they're still in control. They're just fine. Holding exponential support, higher low is now established at 66.28. We did hold that level by $12, so we broke some short-term supports, but we didn't break the support and the low of consolidation up to that point. The bulls defended it, increasing bull volume, and now we're going to be looking for potentially a lower high compared to 68.23. And if we form a lower high, we're going to have an equilibrium and tightening range into tomorrow for Bitcoin. The weekly candlestick is going to be looking to close fairly strong, unless we see some further drop tomorrow, but it's just a continued tightening weekly trend that we're going to continue watching very close. So on the hourly time frame, if we want more details of this tightening pattern, there's the bulls showing up. Clear bear break over the last few hours. At this point, 3, 6, 8 hours, break 8 hours of support, and then bulls instantly show up with the most significant offense that we had seen since consolidation started. So there are bulls bots at the defense, and they're flipping it jiu-jitsu style to offense. I got a whole mouthful of words here today. And we're going to look to see, can we consolidate and prevent this bear cross of these exponential moving averages on the hourly time frame? Can we continue hourly higher lows and higher highs? And basically the 4-hour time frame is the best viewpoint in my opinion for where we currently stand. It gives me the most clarity. Ripple on the daily time frame has inside bars forming and continued tightening ranges. And that is not surprising because of the size of the range that we saw yesterday. So again, indecision candlestick on the daily. We zoom into the 4-hour and I can see a clear tightening range. So right now I've got the high of the bull move, the low of consolidation, lower high, which was a little double top here, 628, 627. And now we're looking for the bulls to form a higher low compared to 492. And we're holding exponential supports at this point as well, same as Bitcoin. It's just a little bit more sideways action. We've been consolidating a little bit longer, but the bulls are still just fine at this point. It would require a break of 492 for the bears to get any follow through, just like Bitcoin bears are going to have to break the low of consolidation, and that's at 66.28. A lot of people are calling Ripple a pump and dump. And honestly, I don't see it at this point because for the dump aspect of things, you need a spike in bear volume. We don't have that spike in bear volume. I don't see any red flags on this consolidation at this point. Could that change and could we see bear volume come in? Absolutely. But at this point, there's no dump. We're seeing healthy consolidation. This spike up was obviously huge and we know we're going to consolidate significantly from that level with the lack of consolidation on this entire 4-hour run up. But other than that, I don't see bear volume. I don't see a dump. So it's going to require a break of these 4-hour higher lows and a bear volume spike for us to consider this a pump and dump, which again, I don't consider it that at this point. Daily time frame for Ethereum, also starting consolidation. Good sign for the bulls is the lack of volume on this red day. And that's because it's, again, 4-hour healthy consolidation. Volume drops off when you see that happen. Exponential supports are holding just like the other major names. We've got our high of resistance 255, low of support 232.67, and we're looking for a 4-hour lower high compared to 255. And the bulls just saw some really nice follow through, consolidating right now. But again, it was the save of support breaking and the bulls showing up. And you can see it was a different setup here on Ethereum where we didn't really break that many supports. Bitcoin broke a longer term support, whereas the Ethereum support that was broken was not significant at all. We didn't break the low of any of the previous hourly candlesticks for the last 3, whereas Bitcoin broke the last 9 hourly candlesticks of support. So it was a different setup, but we saw the same bots buying in reaction to the Bitcoin bots buying. And just to check in with Ripple, how it responded to that bear break, again, V-shaped recovery, we're seeing these bots interact with each other, but a bit different because Bitcoin V-shaped recovery and went to a higher high compared to when the dump started, and Ripple didn't make it back that far. So some minor differences in how they reacted to that dump bounce, but just these little observations, and we're going to continue to watch. It's going to be clear once we break a key support level on a bull move and don't get any bounce and don't get any follow through and start seeing bear flags again, then we'll say, all right, that little period was over and it looks like these bull bots are no longer programmed to buy when support breaks. But as of right now, this is now 3 or 4 days in a row and 3 clear examples where support breaking triggered bots to buy and saved support and saved the bulls to remain in a pretty solid uptrend at this point. So things getting exciting in the space. We're going to continue to watch. We'll be back tomorrow with the altcoin video. I hope you all continue to do good things out there. I know you will. And we got some more Iceland here. Westman Islands. It's Westman IR, I think is how you say the island. That's my attempt. But this was a beautiful sunset that I filmed and going to be heading back off the island next time and continuing to explore the southern part of Iceland and sloping hills and sheep and lots of fun stuff. So thanks again. I hope you have a good rest of your weekend. We'll see you tomorrow.